in some ways it's triggered a lot of the feelings, back again in COVID, but how I dealt with them were great coping mechanisms in how I'm dealing with COVID. And that's kind of, everyone's dealing with that now on a global scale, but it really did equip me with, many techniques of, just getting through tough times and knowing how to get that, having that roadmap, having that faith in God that, I'm going to be okay, and that was a big part of it. And then the other thing, we spoke a lot in your podcast with me, but gratitude, it just really shines a light on, it can be darkness, but there's a light, and there's a light that's shining there, and you just have to find that light. And I think, you said it too, that's just gratitude is everything. And if you can start with that and you can end your day with that, it really is a beautiful thing. So I try, now I have like a prayer journal that I write in every day, what I'm grateful for every single day. And I start my day off that way. And it just really kind of level sets me. And that was a lot of cancer has kind of stopped me to look at the sunsets and, take every little opportunity, big and small. It can be as insignificant as just, a simple hug or a note. But when you look at it through a different lens, it's just so beautiful. And so I think that pink colored glasses, rose colored glasses, really, really from cancer have made me see the world in a totally different way.
Well, and I love the whole gratitude thing. And what I hang on to so much is I'm a huge Anthony Robbins fan, and he had said in one of his, we attended an Unleash the Power Within seminar of his once, and he said, you cannot be grateful and fearful at the same time. You just can't. And so you have to choose. Either you're going to be fearful or you're going to be grateful. Well, I would rather be grateful than fearful. So, I am with you. And it is a practice. You said the right word. You can't just be grateful. You have to practice being grateful. It just doesn't come, because it's easy to find all the negative and all the yucky stuff, especially in this, turbulent time right now. So you really have to choose to be grateful. But I think that's just such a true key for anybody that's facing any adversity, that if you can find something to be grateful for, it really does. It changes your outlook on so many different things. And I feel like no matter what happens as the outcome goes, you'll still be okay, and you'll be better if you're grateful as opposed to being fearful.
I agree. And I had heard a quote, two prisoners in a cell, one sees stars, one sees bars, so what are you going to see when you look out the window? And I really do think, writing it down and being mindful about it is, that connection with God, and he can shine through you and help you to see, even in your bleakest days, you are still breathing, you are still, walking, you're still, whatever it is that you're doing, you still have an opportunity within that moment, to make a difference and to be a light to people. So I do think it is so important, the gratitude. And for me, writing it down helps me to kind of see it and visualize it more.
Me too. Well, I think there's something to that. I'm a pen and paper person anyway, but I think that there's something to that. Like I could sit and type down things on my phone or on my laptop or whatever, but I am a pen and paper person. Like I think that there's some sort of a study that is cognitive with your brain too, when you actually have to write it and not just type it, that there's some sort of a, I don't know, stronger connection to it or whatever. And so I'm with you. I love the idea of journaling and just being able to write down all the things that you're grateful for. And I think that we forget sometimes. I think that we get stuck in a rut of, and you look at all the things you don't have as opposed to all the things that you do have, especially when you're talking to a woman battling cancer. Right? She may not have her hair. She may not have her eyebrows. She might not have her nose hairs, but she's got a roof over her head, and there's food in her refrigerator, and she's got, the neighbors that check on her all the time, or, a best friend that sends her a card every day. And so that's why I think that gratitude is so important, because you really could go down that rabbit hole of all of the things that you don't have. And I feel like when we focus on what we do have, it really does. You see the stars or the bars. Which one are you going to see? Because you can see what you do have, or you can see what you don't have. So I agree that gratitude and having a heart of gratefulness can be healing for so many different people on so many different levels.
Yes, 100%. And I always encourage people, like, you have to feel your feelings. It doesn't mean that you, suppress them or you do whatever. you have to feel them. And that's where writing for me has been really instrumental. But it is so true. Like if you can feel your feelings, then you can do that. But if you start with it's almost like gratitude wipes the slate and allows you to, like to express that much more freely. So I love that, about gratitude is just, I always have something to be grateful for. And I think people never sometimes stop and really think about it. To your point, like even the most basic fundamental things, hey, the world might feel totally upside down, but I have this house that is amazing. And like I've spent how many months in for COVID. I have food, I have, healthcare, whatever it may be. There's so many things that you can attribute to what you do have in life.
Well, and I agree. And to speak to your point about the journaling too and feeling your feelings, I'm with you and I am total agreement. People need to write that down. If you're mad, then write down that you're mad. If you're let me tell you, when I went through the loss of my husband, I was angry at God for a really long time because I'm like, here it is, we're doing your work and all these other people get miracles and I couldn't get a miracle for him and you get mad. But that was part of the healing process too. And I feel like now looking back on those journals 3.5 years later, I didn't realize how far I've come. And so I feel like too, somebody that's going through a breast cancer journey and being able to journal all of their feelings and all of the things that now you may not see it, but to get it out on paper, at least it's out of you and you're not carrying that around with you. But what a gift that is to be able to look back on that 2 or 3 years later when you're out of treatment and your, normalcy is kicked back in. What a gift it is. And again, to be grateful for the life that you have after cancer, as opposed to missing what you had prior to cancer.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So just real quick, tell me, what does community mean to you?
Oh my goodness, like it's everything. Like we really need each other as humans. And I get in these COVID days, it's more challenging, but I think we can all pivot and find that I've really seen the breast cancer community, especially on Instagram, really pivot and step up and help people and really try to encourage people, whether it's through virtual meetups, whether it's just through DMs, emails, whatever. There's just been such an embrace to help people feel not alone. There's one group called the Breasties, and they keep saying like community is not canceled, so
Right.
they're really adamant about that. And I think it is so important. And I've had a lot of listeners, I had one recently reach out to me. She felt like her non-cancer friends just really didn't get it. Like she was kind of through treatment, but she's still trying to like unpack all that had happened to her. And she wasn't really getting a lot of understanding. And I said, well, you know, they walk alongside you. They're amazing friends, but sometimes you need people who just get you and
Mm-hmm.
get this journey and get that it's not really done when it's done, so I encouraged her to join. I told her a support group that I felt was really amazing. And she's joined it. And I even see her being lighter in her emails. Like, I don't know, it's just like you can see a change within her because she has people to connect with that kind of understand it and kind of get it and see where she's coming from. And I felt that same way. I went through Live Strong after my diagnosis. And when you're with a bunch of people that also went through cancer, we don't have to explain to each other why maybe we can't run this race in whatever seconds, because we just get each other. We
That's
get that
right.
it's much more of a challenge, and we're just there to be cheerleaders for each other. And
That's
so
right.
I think it's such a change when you're with people who just kind of get that. You don't have to have all this mental taxing energy to just try to get people to understand what you're going through, because they already do. So they can just be there to kind of listen to you and guide you and help you, and maybe point out some resources that can help you too. But it's really everything, and you just can't go through cancer alone. You cannot. So I really encourage people, however it looks, to find their tribe. And it sounds cliche, but it's true. Whether it's I put in a hashtag breast cancer on Instagram, I find those people. And there's probably going to be a person I maybe connect with, and there might be someone I don't connect with, and that's okay. We're all still humans. But it's really that like process and discovery of finding what group, what person, what resource really speaks to your heart, and then connecting, because you just need connection in these times.
I agree. So tell us, because we are out of time already, which I cannot believe. So tell people where they
go?
can find you. I know, where did it go? Where can they find your podcast?
It is DJ Breast Cancer. It's on Apple Podcasts and pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tina, for joining us today. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to speak with us and share your story.
Oh, thank you, Kim, and Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. If you have any questions or comments or would like to know more about the guests on our show or for more information about Hello Gorgeous, feel free to contact me at kbecker@hellogorgeous.org or visit our website at www.hellogorgeous.org. We invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and download our mobile app. Thank you for joining me today on Hello Gorgeous, everything beauty, cancer, and inspiration. I'm your host, Kim Becker, and until next time, stay gorgeous.